Ellipses has taken over the world. Day Ellipses, no! And again, we wake up where? There are dreams that you don't want to wake up from. It's like one is floating down a warm river towards a place far beyond the horizon, blissfully watching the vain world, hidden behind the clouds. The past is left behind. It echoes, do not tear your souls. And the future is right here. You just have to reach out for it. It doesn't matter what is awaiting you there. The very process of immersing yourself in the fairy world of scenery and happiness is itself much more important. I've always believed that the universe was once in a state and one day will return to it again. Was in this state, rather. Our life is just a blink of an eye. Just a second in a compromise, in a comparison to the universe. The birth and death of stars is a minute, and those of galaxies are hours. But even all of that, all put together, will not even be a day. Nobody thinks how to live each specific second. So does it really matter what each drop in the stormy river running beyond the horizon of existence does? Hi, I'm back. Did anyone pay rent? Is my porn still here? Again, that chandelier is a bit weird. And again, that computer's back from when we went to Pioneer Camp. Again, let's examine. Our slippers are underneath. Is there any used tissue? Ha, ha, ha. That's suspicious. Pants. Yeah, I haven't really looked at this in the past. Is that a dustbin? I mean, yeah. I've done that before. We used to have that. It was a thing, especially in the 90s. You had those giant-ass TVs. And what you did is you didn't get rid of them. You just threw a towel over it and it became a table for the new TV. Especially when you went from that to flat screens. So, and if you're smart, I know some people hooked up the audio to the bigger TV and just became like an extra speaker. Anyways. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Click here. Right. I opened my eyes and stretched blissfully. I had no desire to stand up as I felt like I was in perfect bliss, muffled in a blanket. After all, I didn't have anywhere to go. As usual, actually. And I didn't have any plans. So, why shouldn't I just sleep? I rolled over and stared at the old worn wallpaper covering the curved wall. I wondered how long ago the last time they renovated this room was. And why does here have wallpaper instead of bare wood anyways? Vague warning bells begin ringing somewhere in the deeps in my mind. I threw my blanket away, jumped up first, and began to look around. Yes, I was back in my flat again. At first, I was paralyzed. I just kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. And then I spent so many nights thinking how you done me wrong. I grew strong, and I learned how to get along. So you're back from outer space, back to your apartment again, and you're realizing you lost your love. The shock was so strong that my brain was unable to process what was going on. I just stood there and gazed on the screen of the monitor on the table opposite of me. I couldn't think. I even forgot to breathe. And I died at the end. Finally, my mind began to clear. What happened anyways? I fell asleep on the bus going to the district center. Yes, something like that. And Sylvia was sitting by my side. And now I'm back here. Seems like during the week I spent there in the camp, I gotten so used to the fact that I never returned to my previous life that now I just have no idea how to react to all this. After all, at first my main wish was to come home. But in the end, everything was like a bad movie, at least. I had come back, but I'm still shocked. Is there tea in your coffee still good? Is that still 4chan on there? No, I felt no fear. I was rather interested and upset. After all, I already made up my mind to start a new life with Sylvia, leaving all my problems behind. Insults, suffering, self-examination, unfinished affairs, and plans for the future. Obviously, that life could not be worse than this one, at least. But there's no returning to it now. On the other hand, if someone had told me a week ago that I would be sent into a different world just like that, and in a blink of an eye I would have not believed them. So, what makes such a fantastic event happening again so impossible? Moving my legs with difficulty, I went to the kitchen, got a glass of water, and returned to the room. The ice-cold liquid was disgusting with... The ice-cold liquid with a disgusting aftertaste of bleaching powder revived me to some degree. Vodka. Again, I wouldn't agree. Vodka does have a bad aftertaste. Ha! Now I have to decide what to do next. Suddenly I realized I could not bear the silence. After turning the computer on, I launched a random song into player and managed to calm down somewhat. And seriously speaking, what can I do? Recently, I realized that absolutely nothing is up to me. By someone's will, I was pulled out of my usual world and then sent back. It's called a game designer. Game designer, GD. See? Game designer is the same as God. Anyways. You need to put an O there. Game O designer. Damn it, what can an O mean? Game obstacle designer? Oh, well. No answers were found during that week of camp. What's the point in speculating now? I must forget everything that happened like a bad dream. Maybe those were just hallucinations. I didn't really care now. The only thing that prevented me from completely forgetting this short period of time, was Sylvia. I recalled her smile and all the time we spent together, especially the last couple hours. Or rather, that last night together. From the meeting on the very first day to the night in the forest, and the night in the forest, and the night in the forest, and our departure from camp, and also a night in the forest. My heart fiercely jumped in my chest, spreading oppressive pain all throughout my body. I liked her at first sight. So gentle, caring, understanding, beautiful, buckstress blonde. Just like that anime heroine. What, the drug or the hero? Ah! What was her name? The one who helped an anti-solo fellow like me deal... Again, it's harem anime. Typical. Let's see. Oh my goddess. Well, she didn't really help him with the social anxiety as much as she lived with him. Oh, there's plenty of them. And if you think about it, there are no such people like that in real life. Sylvia asked nothing in return, needed no encouragement, never expected to be understood or praised for her work. She just was being herself, a girl that cannot exist in real life. If you think clearly, that's exactly what she was. It seems like I've seen one single week-long dream. One single week-long dream. About a pioneer camp, Soviet teenagers and their camp leader. About warm summer nights, gathering on a fire. About light-hearted children's games, simple human joys. About one moment that lasted a week, and the everlasting summer. They named the title! But not just seen. I've been there. I was part of everything. My eyes unwillingly filled with tears. Not tears of pain or despair, tears of sorrow and bright melancholy. Even if everything is over, I experienced something that most people could never, ever dream about. Sylvia's image flashed in my head brighter and brighter. I'd love so much for her to return from that camp with me. Maybe I have nothing to offer her now, but my entire life is still ahead of me. I guess I learned a lot of useful lessons from those events. I couldn't help thinking that it's all seemed too perfect, like it was written according to some simple program. I mean, plan, not a computer program. A loser hero, a fantastic, innocent, and wonderful transformation. I guess it's not possible. Not in this life. Will I become that person I was before only a day or a week later? Well, the most realistic course of events. It is, rather, that I can read. One thing's for sure. I'll never be able to go back. Ellipses, you're here! He followed with me. Sylvia couldn't come back, but you did, you bastard. Damn ellipses. Did you bring the tape? Yeah, well. About a month has passed since I returned from Seattle, or to say more correctly, since I woke up. Excuse me. I returned to my usual life as a loner, suffering the internet. I like that better. Suffering the ways of the internet. Anyways, surfing the internet for days. Going outside only to shop. As expected, it began to suit me again. Well, obviously, moments of melancholy and depression occurred. A person like me just can't do without them. But they lasted no longer than usual. Except those times when, while sleeping, I returned to that summer, that mysterious camp. But after awakening, I tried to banish those thoughts as soon as possible. After all, what's the point in dreaming of becoming a wizard? Even if miracles happen, and I was proof that they do, then they happen completely independent of us. The word sweet doesn't give you a sweet taste, regardless of how often you pronounce it. Words of wisdom. But nevertheless, something has changed in my existence. Formerly, I didn't think ahead. Didn't really care how long I would live, whether 1 week or 40 years. But now, I look forward to it with optimism. Not like I tried to change anything or become a different person, but the world now seemed more understandable. Not simple, not friendly, no, not friendly at all, but just understandable. Before I just couldn't cope with some events or facts, though I kind of realized that they were there for a reason. Now, I started seeing life as something simpler. What happens, happens for the best. Or at least it happens and I can't live with it. And if I can't, I'm powerless in that case. I guess I started smiling more often, or at least didn't carry that look of deep universal frustration 24/7. Even my acquaintances on the internet obviously noticed some change in me, and their opinions agreed, that these changes are good. Now, I think I'm ready to live on, thanks to Seattle and its inhabitants. Without them, I wouldn't be able. Ellipses, you killed me! I just was happy and you stabbed me in the middle of my monologue, didn't you? He did! No, just kidding. It was the beginning of January. The city had barely recovered from the New Year hangover. The streets were almost empty during the day. Not to mention the nights. Ended there. When the city's only stranger walking down the street seemed extremely busy with some business rushing somewhere for some reason that couldn't wait. I had no such reason. I just decided to have a little walk. It's necessary to get some fresh air sometimes. A winter's night is the best time to be alone with yourself. I always thought that true solitude, Again, my voice. I always thought that true solitude can be felt in a crowd rather than in a burning hot desert, boundless pain, or on top of a mountain covered in snow. In the stream of people, words, thoughts, and aspirations, everyone had their own aim and direction. And I was the only one strolling among them, deserving no attention from others. Maybe they're like vectors, moving in different directions. They never met at Kherson coordinates. That's a math term I don't know. Sorry. I'm an idiot. It's the same thing here. These people are walking, running in one direction, and I'm dragging along in another. But do I feel lonely? Before, yes, but now, highly unlikely. In the bright, blinding lights of the city, the noise of cars and swirling crowds, I enjoyed a heavy symphony of silence. But now the situation is slightly different. There is just me in the street. So, I am alone, not only with myself, but with the whole world. Being a sand grain in the desert is not the same as being a water drop in the ocean. In a crowd, nobody notices me. No one pays any attention, but now everyone who peeks out of the window or sees me while driving past will think, why can't he just stay at home? Maybe he has some urgent matter? Suppose he's mad, or he's just drunk. Don't know where they got that impression. I never liked standing out from the crowd when it is not appropriate, so opposing society was never an option for me. But now, it was different. As if I tried to tell everyone, look, I can be happy too. You need your TV and your hot chocolates, but I just need the snow, the night, in a dark room and a dull monitor screen. Look, I am not any worse than you. I felt sadness in my heart, but it was a serene sadness. Do I really need these things that they have and I do not? Maybe I have something much more valuable. Ellipses. We got married back in June and we've never been happier. Yeah, see, there's that symbol again. And again, I actually take my time to look at this stuff because I would never do in the beginning. Anyways, I didn't notice how I came to the 410 bus stop. This brings back memories. I sat down and rummaged in my pockets trying to find a cigarette. However, the packet was empty. Well, fine. I crumpled it up and threw it in the bin. Maybe I'll get healthier. A lone star was shimmering in the sky. It was pointing me to Bethlehem. That's the city. Today, I read on the internet that according to the calculation of scientists, one of the most beautiful astronomical events had already ceased to exist, and we were only seeing it decades later. Maybe this star had already exploded as well, and now is only the beautiful image in the night sky, somewhere near a lost planet on the edge of the galaxy. I actually think I saw a supernova once as a kid. However, why does one or anything exist? It is simply because it's just there, has shape, and can be touched. Or is it because we believe that it exists? At first thought, the answer is simple. But on the other hand, even if the star is gone, we can still see its cold light. Maybe it helped someone to get out of a snowy winter forest. Okay, I'm back. I'm alive. Could a simple astronomical event that exploded God knows when do all this? Can billions of people believe in something that doesn't really exist? But belief itself never made any object real. At least, none that I ever heard of. Ellipses wax poetically about that guy's gamble. Damn it, I forget. Oh well, Maxwell's gamble. Let's just say that. The snow grew. Oh, who was that guy that bet about going to heaven? Anyways, I don't know. The snowfall grew stronger. Now it was a real snowstorm. Midnight. I was about to leave, but suddenly someone emerged from the solid white veil and ran under the bus stop roof. Who is it? It was clearly a girl, as she had a long ponytail, hanging out of her hood. She stood with her back to me, so I couldn't make out her face. I'm just gonna assume, you bastard, you know who I am. Who else in Russia has this accent, you bastard? Love me. Anyways, excuse me, has the last bus already left? She asked without turning to me. Where can she be heading so late? The 410 must be the most cursed route in the city. Not only does it sometimes take people away to another reality, but it can even arrive when you want it to. There's one more bus coming just after midnight, I think. Thank ya, ya bastard. The smile was clear in her voice. For some time, I just sat there silently examining the girl, undressing her with my eyes. Finally, she spoke. Where are you going so late, you bastard? Is that really interesting for her? Funny! You asked her the same question in another reality. Yeah, that's the first thing you asked her. Wow. Just having a walk, I answered thoughtfully. And you? Are you here for something important? Well, not really. Just going home, you fecker. Where do you live? I couldn't help asking. Far away. I told you once before, she said vaguely. And I live nearby. It's a good area. I would say they couldn't be a worse one. I don't have too many options. You don't like it? Don't know. I got used to it by now. I think that people can be happy with whatever they want. Perhaps. Well, think of it. People live on even the North Pole, in stations I mean. And in Sahara Desert now, I hear tell. And in many other places. It's the people themselves that are the most important part. It's difficult to disagree with you. My comments sounded so philosophical that I unconsciously smiled. You don't sound too honest to me. Now, why would you say that, madam? She laughed quietly. I think that you're a good person. Now she turned and I realized why her voice, statue, and everything seemed so familiar. Honestly, you fucking bastard, who else in this goddamn world has an accent as bad as mine? It seemed so familiar to me. Sylvia stood in front of me. For a moment, I lost my ability to speak, but just for a moment. Of course, it couldn't be the girl who was like, it could just be a girl who looked like Sylvia from my dream. Or I'm experiencing the strongest deja vu. The city is not a pioneer camp. I am not wearing a uniform, and it's not Seattle in summer. Trying to convince myself that it's just illusion, I decided to ask quietly, have we met before? She carefully inspected me and smiled. I don't think so, you creepy bastard. But your face seems familiar. Have you ever been to a pioneer camp as a kid, had sex with this guy, and he talked about being from the future? Of course not, she laughed. When I was born, they had already been disbanded. Right. Although, I had a dream recently. She thought for a second. Me too. I mean about the pioneer camp. Maybe. It's there where we met, the girl said seriously. Possibly. By the way, my name is Sylvia. Actually, my first name is Sylvia, but everyone calls me Sylvia, yeah. I was about to tell her that I know, but then I stopped short. After all, is it that important to know why Sylvia from my dream is standing right here, right now, in front of me on the frozen stop, that crammed bus stop of 410? After all, there are dreams that you don't want to wake up from. And mine is Simone. What a lovely name. Starts with an S too. Yeah. So, you live far away, don't you? Well, not really. She named the district. I thought it would be somewhere in the south. Why? Don't you know? Maybe because you looked like a pioneer. Oh, You and your pioneers, you horny bastard. She laughed. Maybe we would have ever met if not for them. Why? Her expression became serious. Just a joke. Listen, do you agree that the world exists because we believe in it? That seems like a kind of subject for idealism. Sylvia thought for a moment. The school of philosophy came close to me recently. Well, I don't know, you fucking idiot. I'm not that good with these subjects. What are your subjects are good at then? She smiled. Different ones. No doubt. But it's just been a few minutes since we've met. But it seems to have been much longer. For some reason, I've got the same feeling. An awkward pause followed. Pregnant pause? No, the snow fell and eased. Well, the snow has eased, but there is still no bus. I looked at my watch and assumed that it wouldn't arrive at all. Sylvia seemed to... Seems like the 4:10 bus. Want to get on a sleeping bag and warm each other again? For today. I guess. She said sadly. If you want. I started after pulling myself together. What? You can stay at my place. But we just met. She laughed. She didn't seem frightened even a tiny bit. Yes, I understand, but it's cold outside. Aren't you afraid? Sylvia looked at me playfully. Me? Should I be? Who knows? You know, who knows? I just suggested it. Don't think anything of the sort. I started to make excuses. I understand, you horny bastard, you. She laughed. If you don't mind, of course. Even though it seemed impossible, she flushed even more. Should we go? Let's wait a bit longer. Maybe it'll arrive. Okay. Ellipses was also... Actually, Ellipses just fell in the snow. He mixed in and he was gone forever! Free of Ellipses! Anyways. So, what do you do in your spare time? Sylvia asked after a while. I will work from home, kind of. I just couldn't tell her I do nothing. Ugh, sounds good. Why? Don't you know? You have a lot of free time. You don't have to go anywhere and so on. And you? I asked, trying to change the subject somehow. I'm studying. Getting a ethnographer degree? What's that? Sylvia asked seriously. Never mind. I'm going to be an ecologist. Well, a career to be proud of. We chatted about random things and the bus was still nowhere to be seen. It was past 1 already. Time passed by so fast. I guess Sylvia understood my thoughts. Shouted goal? She smiled. I stood up and headed slowly towards my house. She carefully held onto my arm and looked into my eyes. You know, I'm sure that this year will be better than the previous one. Ellipses returned from the snowy grave. Damn it, thought I was rid of him forever. So that was Sylvia's happy ending, I believe. Yay, comfy guy. Every story has the beginning and its end. Every story has its own outline, synopsis, contents, key points, prologue, and epilogue. I said prologue for the ending, didn't I? It's epilogue, damn it. And there is no book which, if you read it again, will not reveal new details you didn't notice before. Every story has its beginning and its end. Almost every. Hi! So, again, and Sylvia, I think, was the first. I mean, it's meant to be the first. Because, again, she's the first one you kind of meet, other than the mysterious girl at the start. But yeah, she's kind of the basic one, I guess. So, I don't know if she's the one they assumed to go with first. Because, again, even her dialogue mentions the everlasting summer. So, But I think in every good ending kind of ends with the girl in your reality somehow. Like I only got that bad ending with Alice, and she wasn't there, of course. So I wonder if I got the good ending with Alice if she ended up in my world. And I even hear tales of a harem ending. Oh well, I don't know. Again, I'm just wondering if nothing else, finish this segment. Oh, that didn't happen before. Well, that was before we made the... Well, that could have happened afterwards too, but... Anyways, all the guys who support us all these years and Wade kept bleeding. Anyways, I should actually read the credits for once. But there we go. We got the good Sylvia ending, which again, I think that was kind of the basic ending. And I keep wondering if I should continue on, but I want to either way. So let me know if you guys want to see me go through the endings, because again, the key is on this computer, I finally finished the game. So that means I can now skip all the stuff we did before with the quick skip. So if I go here, I got Comfy Guy, Sylvia's good. So these are the 4 endings I got. So it makes me wonder what's okay. So Sylvia. Yeah, so Sylvia is kind of the first one they assume because it's right on top. Sylvia 1, Sylvia 2. Alice 1, Alice 2. Then we have, let's say, Lena 1, Lena 2. Ulsa 1, Ulsa 2. Miku, Mystery Girl, and True Ending, I think, are the last ones. Because, again, I hear that there's, again, because especially in the Simon good and bad endings, you realize that there's, kind of this repeating pattern to the game, especially in the good ending. In Simon's good ending, you kind of end up back in the loop again. So, and I think if I click on these, they go back to the actual, yeah. So let's go back to main menu. Yeah, that's fine. So, anyways, all that aside, I like to say, if this is the end of my playthrough, and it might not be, let me know if you want to see more. Because again, I like this game. It's just the thing is it takes me forever to do these videos. Just because, again, it's what I've been recording for, only 2 hours. Okay, that's not too bad. Usually it's 3 or 4 hours sometimes. But, yeah, let me know if you want to see more. Because, again, there is, I just counted, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more endings to go through. And I can skip through faster. Anyways, but yeah. If this is the end, though, thanks for everyone that's watched so far. It's been a fun game. Everyone giving me secrets about what this symbol is, because I actually did find I have a Pioneer pin, this exact symbol that they had on their uniform. So, of course, none of them have them on the uniform I could point out. Yeah, that pin that they... No, it's not there. Huh. Anyways, yeah, the pin that they actually wear on the uniform is I have one of those randomly, and I don't know where I got it. So, but there's all the goods. Again, I could show you all these endings. It's once I get past here that it starts getting to the stuff I have to censor. Hi, nurse. Anyways, so let me know if you want to see more. If this is the end, thank you for all those who've watched to this point. Again, this is a fun game. I will finish it. Let me know if you want to see me do more of the endings. So, all the rambling and ranting aside, this has always been a fun game, and I'll continue. Especially the making another game, which got funded, the Love, Money, and Rock and Roll one. So, anyways, all that aside, ending the video. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.